This is my fourth recording. I'm gonna get this right sometime today, I guess. Anyway, happy Women's Month. I think that's what it is right now for the month of March. And I hope that you're doing well. I wanted to just pop on here quickly and just talk about us for a minute with a little story as usual. You know how I am. But I was looking through the Bible, of course, and of course looking at the women that were in the Bible that were very influential, and some that were very kind of they were in the background, so to speak. So they didn't have this whole on the front line, but they did a lot of things in the background, and that's what was intriguing to me. And to tie that all in, I was thinking about us. I was thinking about the women of yesterday and today, and the different things that we have done, and how far we have come. Uh, Speaking of that, I was looking, of course, at Esther. The queen to save the nation of Israel. You look at Deborah, of course, one of the judges, one of the most influential women in the Bible. There was also a prophetess in the book of Judges. You have one of my favorites is Anna. And Anna doesn't get a lot of recognition, but she was a prayer warrior, and she fasted, prayed until the birth of Jesus. And not that, she stopped then, but she was just a mighty woman that stayed in the temple. And she served in that aspect. So that was kind of intriguing to me also. That was in the book of Luke, I believe. Yes, the book of Luke. And looking into two people that really don't get a lot of recognition, but are mentioned. And one is her name, hopefully I say this right, Huldah. Huldah, which it was in Second Kings and Second Chronicles. She was a prophetess. So I'm very intrigued about her uh, because there's hardly any mention of her. So I'm trying to find out and do some research on her so I can talk about her. So stay tuned for that one. And also, I fell in love with Phoebe. Phoebe in the book of Romans, I think it's Romans 16, with the Apostle Paul, that she serves in as they called her the Bible. The Bible, I'm not sure if they called her a deaconess, but she's presented as a deaconess or a deacon in the church. She was, but Paul called her as a sister, uh, a servant. And so those are the two intrigued ones that I'm researching on right now, and I'll get back to you on those. But one of my favorite stories is about Hannah. Oh, I love Hannah. In First Samuel, it talks about her life and her husband Elkanah and her rival. I call her rival, Peninnah. So Elkanah had two wives. One was, of course, Hannah, and the other one is Peninnah. And in this aspect, uh, there's always somebody, and this is just me. This is just me talking. But there's always a Peninnah, or there's always a Peninnah that might be may a little bit irritating in your life, or something that gets you a little irritated. It doesn't really have to be a person. It can be a thing, or it can be a situation or an issue. So what I looked when I was doing this research and study of Hannah, and it was so cute in what I was thinking about, and it struck me that we got some Hannahs in our lives. I mean, we got some Peninnahs in our lives that actually make us look at some things in that aspect. And of course, we tend not to want to deal with it, but I think it's great that we do. When I was, looking at what Hannah had to go through, and of course, back in that day, Hannah was barren. And if you look at society back in that day, that that wasn't really something that, it was kind of shameful. Let me put it that way. So if you have this wife that is producing, okay, let's put it that way. This wife that is producing, like Peninnah, is producing kids, popping out babies, and producing and giving you this family, and giving you this prestige in society, and then you have Hannah, that's, that's her goal, but she's having issues of being barren, or she can't produce right now. And so in that concept, I looked into Hannah as being a person of perseverance. She never stopped believing in God. Her faith became stronger, and Peninnah would irritate her and intimidate her so much. You know how some people pick at you? You know how some people, they probably won't do it in front of everybody else, but when they would get with you, they just like to pick, or they throw some shade. That's the word I'm looking for. They do a lot of shading on you. And so I think this is what Peninnah was doing with Hannah. And to the point where, it would get so bad sometimes that Hannah would go and she'd make her cry and she would eat. And so, but what Hannah would do was go to God and pray, and kept her faith strong, and she was perseverance in her prayer. She never gave up. She kept going to God in prayer. And I believe, if I've got it right, I believe Hannah said something in the aspect of, if you give the child to me, I'll give him back to you. And with that promise, Hannah did produce. I don't know how long it took. The Bible really doesn't specify, but she did become with child, and she did bore a son, which is Samuel. I love that. And with Samuel, uh, uh, she did dedicate him back. I guess people would say dedication or christening, back for our times. That's what she did. And not only that, she took him to the temple. He stayed in the temple with Eli, the priest, and Eli groomed him into the priesthood. So not only was he a bad priest, but prophet. And I love the story of how Hannah's perseverance got her to this point where she bore this child that really helped a lot of kings, or helped one of the prestigious kings. It might have been David. I know Eli died. So, and then Samuel took his place. So it's one of those things where I say this. I say that to say this. We have to be strong and of good courage, and be courageous in what you do. Even though we have these Peninnahs in our lives, we don't give up. We don't waver. Uh, Sometimes it just looks really bad. But in Joshua 1:9, he says, do not be afraid and don't be discouraged, for the Lord your God is going to be with you wherever you go. So whatever he's getting you to do, and I want to be transparent for a minute with you. I have had some aspects of, I don't know what happens, but sometimes I can get discouraged. I get discouraged, and that of course that scripture comes up in point and on point, that reminds me not to give up. But also, my thing is, I don't want to miss anything that God has for me to do. Now, a lot of people say what God has for me, but I don't want to miss that too. But I don't want to miss what he has assigned me. When I leave here, I want to leave empty. I want to make sure that I have done everything that he has asked me to do, and more. because I want to make sure that whatever I have, I've given it to, or passed it over, or had mentees or prodigies, or a person that he's assigned to me to give over to. So I just want to make sure. And it's not that there's just this one person. I used to think, oh, I'm looking for this I was looking for this person. It might not be just that one person. It might be several things that he wants me to do, and people that he wants me to touch, you know. So when I do anything, even with these segments that I do with you all, I want to make sure that I'm doing it in glorifying him and honoring him, not because I want to be here, because I'm being transparent, I don't, but because I'm doing it because it's an assignment. And once I start doing it, it's like so much food that he's giving me to give to you. So I know this is one of those things, but I want to do it the way he wants me to do it. Nothing that comes out of my mouth is for me. It's coming through me to you. And I want to make sure that I do everything in his will, in his order, his way. So that being said, when we look at Hannah and she perseveres through with prayer and faith and fasting, that's what we have to do. If that's what it takes, then that's what we have to do, because I think there's some tests that he takes us through. And your Peninnah is a test. It's a test, and it's a training. It's your training to get ready for the next whatever or next level that he has for you. If you can't deal with the Peninnahs, how are you going to deal with the next level? And so that's the way you have to look at some things. It's like, we give the enemy a lot of credit for some things that, that the devil is doing, and it ain't him. It's something that God is preparing us, that soldier that he's building for this next the convoy and the next assignment and the task. Those I'm talking military. Those task force that he has, that he's building for you, so that you can conquer, or you can go and step up into the next assignment. That's what the Peninnahs are for. So I had to learn. I had to learn to be okay with the Peninnahs. I had to learn to be okay with the issues of life that just all of a sudden just blows everything off course. And sometimes things do need to go off course, because maybe that's not what he really wanted you to do right now. Or that's not what he wanted you to do at all. God bless you. I hope this was encouraging for you. Be strong and have good courage. Take Joshua 1:9 and run with it. And when you do, run the race and run it well. Bless you tonight. Until next time, have a wonderful, wonderful day, and hope to see you soon. Take care.